Thank you for listening to this PodcastOne production. Now available on Apple Podcasts, PodcastOne, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
PodcastOne presents the Steve Austin Show Classics.
All right, everybody, welcome to Steve Austin Show. It is Unleashed Thursday. Happy fucking Thursday, everybody. That means tomorrow is Friday. That means the next day is Saturday. Most of you motherfuckers gonna have the weekend off. Swig of beer, swig of water, swig of coffee, swig of Jack Daniels, swig of something for the goddamn working man who busted his ass all week to pay them gimmicks they keep sending in the mailbox called bills. That's right. And on that note, swig of everything to the working woman as well. That's right. Keeping America afloat by working our asses off. And for those people that listen all over the world, wherever you at, y'all got the same damn thing going on we got going on here. They send them little gimmicks to your mailbox. They call bills. You must pay them, or they will turn your shit off. To all my overseas listeners, swig of water for the working man and woman. And hey, let me give out an extra shout out to the people down there in the ATL area, down at Atlanta, Georgia, all across the South, all that ice on them roads. Swig of water, swig of coffee for the highway crews, throwing that salt, trying to get all that shit going over there so people can get up and down that highway. Swig of water for them electricians out there trying to get all them power poles fixed, all that bullshit. Hey, it's a big-ass clusterfuck down there. I don't know why in the hell the weather is all jacked up like it is, but it is. I seen it on TV. Swig of beer for the cats at the airport because they can't catch their flights. Airport shut down. Cold weather like a motherfucker down in the ATL and all across the South. Shit. I got a hell of a damn show for you today, man. I went to Monday Night Raw the other day, and it was a damn family reunion. Saw all my damn buddies, partners, talked to some cats, and I'm going to tell you about that here in a minute, but before I really get cranked up, y'all ever got a damn a mother-in-law that sends you the damnedest gifts you've ever gotten in the world? Well, my illustrious mother-in-law, my wife's mother, is the sweetest woman in the world. But for some reason, she always buys us the goddamnedest things I ever seen in my life, and then she mails them to us. And here's a couple of things, and I wrote these all down on a little piece of paper right here. Some of the things in about the past year or two that she has sent us. One of the things she sent was a turbo towel. Y'all seen the turbo towel on TV probably. It's for people with hair, mainly women, I guess. Damn sure I don't need a turbo towel. You wash your hair when you get out of the shower. You put the turbo towel on, and I guess it's supposed to help dry your hair. Now, I don't know why the turbo towel would be different from a regular towel. It's just a little bit smaller. And I really don't know why they even call it a turbo towel because it ain't got no turbocharger on that motherfucker. I done looked at it. There wasn't a ripcord that I could pull to start up like a lawnmower and turbo dry my wife's hair. So anyway, my wife uses it every now and then, more or less as a rib to me because I think the son of a bitch is crazier than hell. The turbo towel. Thank you, Kristen's mother, for getting her the turbo towel. Here's another thing she got. Y'all see them power strips? I'm using one right now. You plug it into the wall. It's got about 1.5 feet of cord, and it's got about 6 sockets you can plug in different things to. I got a power strip by my bed because I got so many gadgets plugged into my little nightstand there. It's ridiculous. But this one is the one that bends and rotates. Well, that's cool. That's all fine and dandy, but why you need a power strip to bend and around corners? Because it just lays there and you plug shit into it. Nonetheless, I got a bendable power strip right there by my fucking bed, using it. Thank you, Kristen's mom, for that. Here's one that came down to Christmas when we was down there at the ranch. It's the potato pouch. The potato pouch is a little red gimmick. You've probably seen them on TV, and it's a pouch. And on the pictures, you can stuff about 3 or 4 potatoes in that motherfucker. But when you get the potato pouch, when you're talking about real deal potatoes that you buy at the grocery store, you might can cram in too. Now, allegedly, this is supposed to decrease the cooking time and cook the potato evenly for your consumption and enjoyment. I've been alive for 49 years, been using a microwave damn near ever since they was invented. I ain't never had a single fucking problem cooking a potato on my own without putting it in a pouch. Nonetheless, we got 2 potato pouches at the Broken Skull Ranch in Tilden, Texas. And, to Kristen's mom, they work like a motherfucker. I use them all the time to bake up some potatoes in my microwave. Here's another one. She got my wife about 5 or 6 pairs of these puffy socks. And on the bottom of them it says Dream with a sticky bottom. I guess so that when she's walking across the floor, she does not lose traction and fall. And so anyway, we took a gimmick picture of my wife sleeping in these Dream socks with her feet kicked up in the air. It's kind of a rib. But they purple. And then she got a blue pair. And I got a pair. There's a blue pair laying in front of me right now. And Moolah, the silver lab, and Hershey, the wonder dog, have been playing tug-of-war with that motherfucker. And she didn't get to wear it too many times. So if you don't want to wear it as a Dream sock, it makes an outstanding toy for your pets. Here's another thing that my mother-in-law got us. She got us a gigantic-ass angel for our Christmas tree at the ranch. But see, here's the deal. It's only me and my wife, and then Ted Fowler 361. You know, we're just down there kicking it at the ranch. We don't do a gigantic big Christmas like most people do here in the United States of America or across the world. My wife goes to Trader Joe's and gets one of those little gimmick trees. It's about 1.5 feet tall. That's right, the same Trader Joe's with the little bitty tiny ass parking lot. Hey, Joe, build a bigger fucking parking lot, motherfucker. So anyway, back to the giant angel to put on our little bitty tiny Christmas tree. It's a motherfucker. The damn angel is almost bigger than the Christmas tree. But no less, the angel is on top of the tree. And because our little bitty-ass tree is sitting on our kitchen counter, I didn't have to climb up on a ladder like most people do and risk harming myself by falling off a rickety ladder and injuring my neck. So thank you for the giant angel, Kristen's mother. We have enjoyed it for the past 2-3 years and will continue to enjoy it in the future. I think we need to get a bigger fucking tree. Here's the last thing that she got us. She just got us a pair of gloves. Have y'all seen the gloves? The glove is just a basic damn glove with the same kind of material placed on the palm of the hands that the Dream socks had that says Dream on the bottom of them for traction. That way, when you pick something up, it won't slip out of your fucking mitts. Keeps you from burning yourself. Gives you good traction on the object that you grabbed. And there you go. The glove. I guess I seen them on TV. Or there's many things that you see on TV. I'm an infomercial watching motherfucker. And I think I've seen the gloves on TV. So we got a pair of them. Here's the problem with the glove. If you got a big-ass hand, like I do, the glove will not fit your hand. So I look at the motherfucker while it's in the drawer. Sometimes I pull the glove out and just put a hot dish on top of it. That way I don't burn my counters, and I'm still using the glove. Last but not least, this is my little experiment that I'm going to do right here on the show. She just got us. She just sent us this yesterday. It came in the mail. It is a nano micro petty machine. It's kind of light green and white. It's got a cover over here. And I guess it's a micro petty, and it removes the calluses, bunions, and bullshit off the bottom of your feet. This is a 2-speed model. I don't know if they make a 3 or 4-speed model. This is the 2-speed model. We'll turn it on. That's speed 1. Oh, it's redlining like a motherfucker. That's speed 2. So now, let me scoot my chair back. I'm sitting here barefooted as I'm talking to you. Got a camouflage jacket on and a blaze orange G-string. I'm kidding you about the G-string. So anyway, what we're going to do is I'm about to turn on the Nano Micro Pedi and give myself a pedicure, or at least smooth down these bunions off my left foot. Here we go. They should have got me the turbocharged model because this motherfucker's bogging down. I think what needs to happen when it bogs down is I should apply less pressure. But applying less pressure results in fewer results. I think my bunions and my calluses are getting the best of the Micro Pedi Nano machine. Let me try it on my toe. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some skin follicles flying everywhere. I might have should have put a gas mask on. You know what? Okay, that's enough of that bullshit test. I need to clip my fucking toenails. They look hideous. My fucking toenails right now look like they was on the end of Freddy Krueger's hands. And what was that movie? Whatever the fuck it was. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, all right. To Kristen's mom, thank you for the Micro Mani Pedi machine. The motherfucker works, I guess, to a degree. That's the first time for feet like mine, you really need a belt sander. I should drive my ass to Home Depot and buy myself a belt sander for my feet. But because no one really sees the bottom of my feet, I'm going to leave the motherfuckers as they are. Hey, we're just kicking it here at the house. I'm fixing to tell you about my trip to Monday Night Raw. The Raw crew from WWE came down to the Staples Center here in Los Angeles, California, and I'm going to tell you all about the people I talked to, shooting the breeze with some of my buddies. It was just like a goddamn family reunion. Things have changed. They've just gotten bigger and better, but the people there are all the same.
You're listening to another classic episode of The Steve Austin Show, only on PodcastOne.
When the moment for intimacy arrives, you need to be ready. Roman ready. Whether you've been in a relationship for years or you're just getting started, having the confidence that comes from preparation means you're free to enjoy the moment when the moment comes. Even though you're far from ordinary, the truth is that ED is really common. In fact, 52% of guys aged 40 to 70 experience some form of erectile dysfunction. So go to GetRoman.com/Austin now to speak with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional about erectile dysfunction and get $15 off your first month of treatment. The benefits of ED treatment can help you reconnect with your partner and rediscover your joy of sex. Roman Ready is confidence personified. It is the self-assurance that comes from knowing you've prepared yourself for the moment when intimacy arrives. With Roman, you get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy of your own home. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to help find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward, convenient, and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to GetRoman.com/Austin and complete an online visit. Take care of your ED without leaving your home. Complete an online visit today and connect with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional and take care of it. Go to GetRoman.com/Austin today, and if you're prescribed, get $15 off your first month of ED treatment. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this fall. Roman Ready.
All right, everybody, coming back from a little break here, talking about our sponsors. I want to thank every single sponsor on this goddamn show for keeping us on the air for free, delivering 2 cans of whoop ass every single week for the working man and working woman as they're going to and from work, at doing all the bullshit that they do to pay the goddamn gimmicks and the mail call bills. Let's talk about my trip down to Monday Night Raw. WWE came to town. Los Angeles, California, playing at the Staples Center. I'd been trying to talk to some more talent at WWE. And, man, I tell you what, when you try to schedule a conversation with the WWE superstars, it's pretty hard to do because they always on the road. I've talked to a couple of guys on the phone. I talked to young Daniel Bryan during deer season. I had a damn good time talking to that young man. It was an excellent conversation. I got to find out a lot about that guy that I did not know. And the first time I really had an in-depth conversation with him. And I would have loved to have talked to him in person, but the guy is just great on the telephone, and we had a good time. I always prefer to do my interviews in person, but, nonetheless, A lot of them get done over the phone because it is what it is, and I'm based in Los Angeles or Texas, and they're all over the world doing what they do, putting smiles on people's faces, trying to put asses in the seat so they can perform inside a 20 by 20 squared circle. So anyway, I got on the horn, started talking to a couple of my guys. I've been reaching out for the last few months to some people. I knew that the WWE was coming into town. I looked at the schedule, and I reached out to John Cena. I know you guys have been wanting to hear from John Cena for a long time, and I reached out to him. I reached out to the Big Show. I reached out to Dutch Mantell. Y'all know him as Zeb. And I reached out to Steve Regal, my old travel partner, the guy who came by a couple of months ago. We talked for 2 hours, and I lost a goddamn computer chip. He came by. We had a wonderful conversation. Lasted damn near 2 hours, and it was better than the first time. Soon as he was gone, I stuck the chip in my computer and downloaded the show and sent it to Stacy down there at PodcastOne so I didn't lose that motherfucker again. Steve Regal and I go way back to about 91, 92 when he came to WCW. And I remember watching his first match because I was like, man, look at this motherfucker come down here from England, you know, and let me see what he's got. And I tell you what, man, I watched that guy work in the ring, watched the way he sold. And after the match was over, I went over and introduced myself to Steve Regal and said, hey, man, I'm Steve Austin. It's nice to meet you. I enjoy your work. And for some reason, man, me and that guy just hit it off from day one and turned into real good buddies, real good friends to this day. And I tell you what, we raised some hell up and down the road. I'm not going to go into details here, but I had a wonderful time hanging out with my buddy again, and finally proud to have captured a damn big-ass can of audio whoop-ass that you will be hearing soon. I started off at Dutch Mantell's hotel room. I knocked on the door, and I was about 15, 20 minutes early, and Dutch let me in, and we started shooting and shit like the old days. I have not seen Dutch Mantell in I don't know how many years. I've talked to him on the phone here or there a few times. And I tell you what, man, Dutch was one of the most influential people on my career because, man, when I was going up and down the road, it was me and him and Chris Champion in a car talking wrestling because that's really all there was to talk about. We was living it, eating it, breathing it, crapping it, talking pro wrestling, man. I was like a damn sponge. My brain was absorbing all the information that Dutch would tell me about the psychology of matches and how to do this and why to do that and all that other bullshit and the things that Chris Champion would have to offer. And, you know, later on down the road, Dr. Tom Pritchard and everybody else that helped me out there. But it was really nice to reconnect with Dutch after such a long period of time. And I'm going to have that conversation coming up for you very quickly on the Steve Austin Family Friendly Show. And after I got finished with Dutch, I went over to see John Cena. And I'll tell you what, you talk about it in the middle of a hellacious run. John Cena is stringing together one of the greatest runs ever in the history of the professional wrestling business. You can call it sports entertainment if you want to. I prefer to call it pro wrestling. The guy has been on top for a long-ass time, and he's been on top for a long-ass time for a reason. He's the biggest superstar in the world right now in that business. Has been since he turned into the number one guy. Can't nobody knock him off. John's looking for dance partners. He's looking for some people to step their game up. He travels his ass off. He works his ass off. Always has a smile on his face. And I got into his damn tour bus. And you got to remember, you know, they're going live at 5 p.m. And here in Los Angeles time, I got there promptly at 1, set up my little microphone stands, and we started talking. I looked down at my damn recorder. We had been talking for 15 minutes. I still had the pause button on. Holy shit. I done wasted 15 minutes of my time, but more importantly, I'd wasted 15 minutes of John Cena's time, who has a tremendous amount of responsibilities once you get going, not even at just an event, but certainly a live televised event. So I quickly recouped, pushed the damn record button, and off we went into a real damn good conversation and talked about a lot of bullshit, you know, health, fitness, time on the road, paying dues, working his ass off. and being the leader of that company. Time came to a close. I went right next door into the Big Show's bus, sat down with Paul White, the biggest human being on the planet. And when I walked in his bus, his driver had let me on there. And see, that's the thing with these, some of these superstars have these big tour buses these days. And these motherfuckers are nice. John Cena's had all the slides and shit popped out. And y'all know I like to RV like a motherfucker anyway. And so Big Show just had a nice-ass bus. He didn't have any slides. And I walked in there and I was thinking, man, I had so much fun back in the day going down the road, crammed all in a car, trying to save money and shoot the breeze and talk about the business of pro wrestling. But had I lasted another couple of years and someone would have come up with the idea a little bit sooner, I damn sure would have jumped on a damn tour bus as well, wrote that motherfucker off, and took better care of myself. I'm just, that's one of the things I miss about the business, was that I missed out on the tour bus era. But that being said, so I go on to Big Show's bus, right? And I'm looking around. Ain't nobody in there. But something smells kind of funky. And I've been in Big Show's bus before, so I know there's a bathroom right there before you get down to the bedroom, in the master bedroom suite. So I go in there and go to the bathroom. I'm number one, if you will. And that bus is smelling kind of funky. So I know Big Show's back there taking a dump. So I call him on his phone. I said, hey, bro, you ready? He goes, yeah, I'm just in the bus. I said, I'm in your bus, too. I'm up here in the front. So anyway, Big Show comes out of the back, and we sit down and start talking and having a good time. And then all of a sudden they started calling him to stage so he could go do his walkthrough with Betty White. That's right, Betty White. And they was going to kick some ass, as you guys saw. So my conversation got cut with Big Show. Got cut short a little bit. But, I landed on my feet, made my way inside, stopped by the production truck. Swig of Diet Red Bull for the working man. I stopped by the production truck to say hello to Kevin Dunn, the guy who produces Monday Night Raw, and then Kerwin Selfridge, his sidekick, was right there. I'll tell you what, man. You guys have sent me several emails about seeing if I could get Kevin Dunn on the show here, and I reached out and I asked him, but the sumbitch is a behind-the-scenes kind of cat. And I told him, I said, dude, you have seen and heard so many things in this goddamn truck that people would love to hear some stories that you have to tell. So anyway, I've extended the invitation. He hasn't taken me up on it yet, but we'll see if he will. And then anyway, man, I saw my damn camera and sound guys, had a good time connecting with those guys. And I saw Stephanie McMahon. She was looking like $1 million. Absolutely beautiful. Gave her a hug, chatted with her. I didn't see Triple H nowhere. Didn't see him. He was busy doing all the things that he does. I was trying to get down to the ring to see and talk to some of the guys back there. And before that could happen, I ran into that sorry-ass, badass Billy Gunn and Road Dogg Jesse James. And me and Billy Gunn used to travel together back in the day. And we started laughing and giggling about the old days and telling stories. And anytime you get around a couple of guys that you went up and down the road with, it's a good time. And, of course, Road Dogg is one of the funniest cats in the dressing room anyway. And I was kidding Billy Gunn. Because Billy Gunn, when we used to travel together, you talk about the grouchiest motherfucker in the history of the world. When he wakes up, mister, you cannot give him a cup of coffee fast enough to wake his ass up so he turns into a pleasurable human being. And then Road Dogg said, no, he ain't like that no more. Now he's nice in the morning. I said, well, how can you just change from being the grouchiest human being in the world and all of a sudden just wake up and say, oh, I'm happy this morning? But nonetheless, I haven't seen badass Billy Gunn in the morning yet, so I can't vouch for that. But they said he done changed his ways. So it was good hanging out with those guys while we were shooting the shit. Young Dean Ambrose came ambling by. So I stuck my hand out and introduced myself to him, and he stuck around for a little bit and chatted with us. And first time I got a chance to visit with Dean. And very interesting cat. Him and the Shield have some real good momentum going right now. The team of him and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, ever since they introduced those cats, it was a great plan. It was a great idea. They've executed it to perfection so far. Who knows which way they're going to go with that? But it was finally nice to meet young Dean Ambrose and visit with him face to face. I think a lot of all three of those guys and think the future is very bright for them. And then out of the damn blue, somebody grabs me from behind, and it's Vince McMahon. Vince grabbing me from behind. Boy, I should have dropped him on that stack of dimes he calls a neck stunner. 1, 2, 3. Well, I ain't got no reason to pin him. It was in the back. Gave Vince a big-ass hug and said what's up. And we didn't get a chance to talk too much because right when he came up, here comes the world's strongest human being, Mark Henry. And he gives me a big-ass bear hug. And when Mark Henry gives you a big-ass bear hug, you either shit your pants or can't breathe because that's how strong he is. Anyway, then he starts tenderizing my trap. We always do a deal where I give him a stunner while I'm standing on my feet. And anyway, it's good to see Mark Henry. Jay Moore loves Mark Henry. Every time I talk to Jay Moore, he's got Mark Henry stories. So it was good to see him. Man, he's been having a hell of a run up there, and he's still around. And then right before Vince McMahon got called off into do some business, here comes Rey Mysterio. Ray had a big-ass smile on his face. He's a future Hall of Famer. That guy's had an incredible career. And I laughed at old Ray. I said, God damn it, Ray. I said, number 30 in the Royal Rumble. I said, who in the fuck you got heat with? And I told Vince, I said, God damn, Vince. I said, I wasn't doing nothing. If you need a goddamn 30 spot in the Royal Rumble, throw down a phone call. I'll put my goddamn knee braces in the bag and fly down to be your number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble. And said, don't fuck Ray over like that. Shit, Ray's a goddamn baby face. He should have stuck a heel in that spot. So Ray was laughing, and then he rode off into the sunset. And that just goes back to booking, man. You can't have a cat like Rey Mysterio in the number 30 spot when the whole crowd at the arena is wanting and cheering for Daniel Bryan to come join the Royal Rumble and throw a bunch of trash over the top ropes and go to the main event in WrestleMania. I still don't understand that booking decision. That would have been a very opportune spot for a real hot heel. That would have been a very good spot for one Wade Barrett. Make him the number 30 spot. Let the people boo him. That's what they trying to do anyway. Common sense booking there. Shit. Anyway, we was sitting there shooting the breeze, and then here comes Seth Rollins. He stopped by, and I had to give his ass a hard time about when he was doing that run, and I guess it was on the Monday Night Raw right after Royal Rumble, and tripped over the barricade and busted his ass. I laughed my ass off. I've done that so many times. You're trying to either look like a man bucks and be a hot baby face, or you're trying to be a heel and be a badass, and you fall flat on your face or your ass, and they can't do nothing about it. You just got to get up and go about your business. So it was good to meet Seth Rollins and get a chance to see what that cat was all about. Again, a bright future for these guys that are in the Shield. And Roman Reigns never happened by. I didn't get a chance to meet that guy. And all of a sudden, sitting there, here comes old Bray Wyatt, that crazy motherfucker, the leader of the Wyatt family. I was a fan of this kid's back when he was Husky Harris. I loved what he did in the ring. He had a different look. With all due respect to everybody with a great physique and all the tattoos and the tan, that's great. But for me, with a little bit of variety, here comes Bray Wyatt or Husky Harris back in the day. So I was really pulling for him. I am glad that the Husky Harris gimmick backfired and didn't work because it's shades of the ringmaster. Hey, rethink things. He did a lot of homework, kind of had a bunch of ideas to present to WWE, and they started coming up with this Wyatt family gimmick. And Bray, the leader of that illustrious trio, and they're gaining a whole lot of momentum. They're all improving in the ring. Bray's cutting some really, really good promos, and he can take that even to another level up with more repetition and practice, but they're really on a hot streak. Had a good match the other day in that tag match where we caught Ray out of the blue after tagging in and hit him with his finisher. Didn't tarnish Ray any. Gives Bray Wyatt a good, clean, strong win in the middle. So anyway, it was good talking to Bray Wyatt. Also, the Wyatt family member Eric Rowan stopped by. It was good chatting with him for just a brief second. I was already engaged in conversation. and never got a chance to meet Luke Harper. I wanted to just put a bug in his ear and give him a little bit of 411, what I thought about what he was doing, offer some constructive advice for some of his in-ring stuff. Hang on, I'm taking a swig of Red Bull for the working man. And I'm back. Hey, I was back there. Those guys that came and left, I was still sitting there bending the ear of Billy Gunn and goddamn Road Dogg Jesse James. We're still laughing and telling snapmare stories. That's an inside story. And here comes that old songbird, Lillian Garcia, my old drinking buddy, my drinking partner. I don't know how many times myself and Lillian got drunk together in front of 15 to 20,000 people every single night, but it was a bunch. And the thing about Lillian, she's not only beautiful and can sing like a bird, you know, she's cool in the gang, but she can drink like a motherfucker. I'll tell you what, she could put some beer down. She probably most guys underneath the table. And I don't know how many times we've been in the ring, and every time I tossed Lillian a beer or poured beer on her head and all over her clothes, she would just laugh and smile and have a damn blast. So, Lillian, it was a pleasure seeing you. You're one of the coolest chicks I know. And hadn't aged a damn bit. I mean, she's still as beautiful as the day I met her. Shit, probably 10, 15 years ago, whenever it was. I got hit with so many steel chairs, I can't remember where the shit or wind my watch. But it was nice to see Lillian again. Brooklyn Brawler and Harvey Whippleman then ambled by. Y'all know the Brooklyn Brawler. Hell, that sumbitch been in the ring forever. Hell of a damn worker. And fucking Steve Lombardi, I've known that cat forever. Heart's as good as gold. And old Bruno, downtown Bruno from the USWA days. Back in the day when I was working at Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bruno Lar would get me a fifth of whiskey or fifth of vodka or a 12-pack or an 18-pack of beer every single night. Part of our little thing that we always had going. Let's call it a tradition rather than a habit.
You're listening to another classic episode of The Steve Austin Show, only on PodcastOne.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more. And Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's simple. Go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Steve Austin Unleashed.
Things have changed over at WWE. I mean, not changed a whole lot, but I mean, man, it just seems like that whole system just keeps snowballing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And WWE Network is going to unleash on February 24, 2014, 100,000 hours of original content and programming. Legends House going to be on there. All the pay-per-views, all the live WWE pay-per-views, including WrestleMania, for $9.99 a month. I tell you what, I'm going to buy the sumbitch. Jesus Christ. If you want to watch some old wrestling matches from I don't know how many territories they got access to, all you got to do is punch it in the little box there, hit the return button, and off and away you go. Jesus Christ. Anyway, back to my day at Monday Night Raw. There's a dude there named Nick. I think Nick just helps setting everything up. I don't know if Nick is a sound guy or not a camera guy. But anyway, I just know his name is Nick. He's the guy I sold my old Honda four-wheeler to about 10 or 15 years ago, and he still has the sumbitch today, and it still runs. And when I sold it to him, that motherfucker was in premier condition anyway, because I always take care of my four-wheelers. And I bought that four-wheeler when I lived in Georgia, and I was on a hunting lease with Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff and Ravishing Rick Rude. Here's a quick fishing story for you. Now, we was out there in South Georgia, Ryan, Georgia specifically, and we was out there on about 2,000 acres. And one time, it was just myself and Rick out there, and Rick loved to fish. So we had our fishing poles, and there's a little pond over there, and we went fishing. And, man, Rick was in the sweet spot. He probably caught about 15 or 18 catfish, and I probably caught about 3. So we go back to the damn house, and I'm going to clean these fish up. And I'm sitting there with a piece of plywood, some pliers over a trash can, cleaning catfish, and there's a house. That ain't a fancy house. It's just a house with bedrooms in it. And someone had bought an old TV and one of those top-loading VCRs and hooked it up. And there was like a big naugahyde plastic leather chair, a recliner there. And Rick was in there, sitting there watching a tape of Cape Fear with Robert De Niro. In there, and that's a true story, smoking a big-ass joint. Bless Rick's heart, he loved to smoke that damn dope. So I'm thinking to myself while I'm cleaning catfish, man, look at this motherfucker. I'm out here cleaning all these catfish, and he's in there sitting on his ass, smoking a joint, watching Cape Fear. And he's the one that caught all these motherfuckers. So finally, you know, Rick, you got to know Rick. Everybody loved him. Stand-up guy, always was. And he came up to me. What you doing? I said, well, goddamn, I'm cleaning these catfish. You want to help? Nope. And turned around, went in the screen door, and kept watching Cape Fear. And so I kept cleaning catfish until I had them all cleaning. I tell you what, man, those were some good old days back then. And anyway, who else did I say? Then, goddamn, I was just getting ready to pull a hank and get out of there, and old Gold Dust comes by. God damn it, Dustin Rhodes. Now, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I loved his work. I loved his promos. I loved everything about him. I loved the gimmick. And Gold Dust, one of my favorite guys to work with from my days. I think I had a match or two with him down at USWA. But, man, we worked some programs in WCW at World Championship Wrestling. And I tell you what, we worked pretty snug with each other. And we laid our shit in. And we had some bust-ass matches. I think we had one at Halloween Havoc. It was about around 92 or something like that. And I remember one time, no, it might have been 91, because in 92 we was at the War Games match. And it was me and a bunch of other guys, and I was bleeding like a motherfucker, man. I hit a gusher, and me and Dustin did something, and I was on top of him, or he was on top of me, beating the shit out of each other, and all of a sudden he looks at me right in the middle of the match, right in the middle of War Games. He goes, "God damn, brother, good color." Meaning I was bleeding like a motherfucker, so I just said thanks, and we kept beating the shit out of each other. And so I got a lot of fond memories of working with Dustin Rhodes, with Gold Dust. And, you know, when I came to WWF back in the day, I just came in as a ringmaster. Now, Gold Dust at the time was already in WWF, and this was back when WWF was pushing his ass, and he was hot. I mean, this is when they were doing the kind of, you know, the over-the-top Gold Dust. And he had a ton of steam on him, mister. He had some heat. And he was working on top every single night with Shawn Michaels, Heartbreak Kid. And they were having some killer matches. Of course, you know, Shawn Michaels can go with the best of anybody in the ring. And Dustin could work his ass off like a sumbitch. So they were having these killer matches. I was on about mid-card, and I'd already taken a shower and waiting on Dustin because we traveled together. And then for some reason, you know, WWF at the time was catching a lot of flack from the organizations about the character of Gold Dust, and they just kind of chopped his legs out from underneath him and stopped pushing him and stopped doing all the skits and the videos and the vignettes that he was doing, and he just kind of fell by the wayside, and then he left for a while, and finally he's back now. But I remember the days when he was there, and he was absolutely on fire, and those guys were kicking ass in the ring and having some bust-ass matches. And I'm glad to see Dustin doing so well now. I mean, I passed by him in the hallway the other day, and I looked at him. He had veins in his arms. I said, "Dude, you're in the best shape I've ever seen you." I was watching the Royal Rumble, and I commented. I said, "Dude, you're moving around better than you ever have moved around." And he said, "Thanks, man." And anyway, you know, I talked to Cody Rhodes there for a little bit as well. I don't know Cody too well, but I talked to him. He's kicking ass. But, man, I tell you what, that damn Dustin Rhodes has really lit it up. And then, hell, Dave Bautista flew by real quickly. And then Dolph Ziggler saw him, Saw all of the divas, the Bellas, Cameron from Tough Enough, and it was good seeing her. I remember she was the first person to leave Tough Enough, and she didn't win Tough Enough. But I told her back then, I said, you got a place in the business. I said, you're beautiful, you're articulate, you're eloquent, and you're intelligent. There's a spot for you, and there's a spot for her. She's got it, and she's doing fantastic. And all of the divas look like $1 million, man. Absolutely beautiful. And that was pretty much my day at WWE Monday Night Raw. I can't remember. I know I talked to some other guys. I know I'm leaving a few names off the list, but it was a pretty interesting atmosphere there. As I say in some of the interviews to come with some of the talent that I just talked about, with Dutch Mantell, Zeb, with John Cena, with The Big Show, with Steve Regal. You know, some people are walking on eggshells over a little bit. There's only one game in town. I think the WWE superstars hold themselves to a very high degree of professionalism there, but maybe somewhat walking on eggshells, is afraid to piss anybody off because there really are no other options when you get booted out of WWE. So hopefully these cats will start taking chances, or chances within reason, and if their gimmicks aren't so great, to rethink these gimmicks and present them to Vince, who is a businessman and will take the time to listen to anybody who's got an idea. That's the thing about Vince. He's always willing to listen to an idea, and he's busier than the summits right now with this network about to launch. He seemed a little preoccupied when I talked to him, because I think he's got a lot on his plate and a lot going on. And, hey, man, these guys are heading right into WrestleMania 30. The Punk storyline continues. Is it a storyline? Is it not a storyline? I saw Daniel Bryan right there towards the end, and, boy, he had a big smile on his face, and he was happy as a lark. They still got the Daniel Bryan thing going. People are red hot for that guy. Keep pushing him. Do something. Do the right thing. It'll be interesting to see what happens as far as WrestleMania goes with that cat. We're going to keep talking about it. We've got several weeks to talk about it. I'm going to close this part of it down because that's pretty much all that happened, man. I got back in my SUV and went back to the house, and I think I had about 6 beers that night because I knocked down 4 interviews and had a damn good time. Swig a beer for the working man. And I asked you guys to send me some questions at questions@steveaustonshow.com, and you did just that. So I'm going to come back and answer your questions. Hey, so anyway, you guys sent me some questions. Some of these a little bit long-winded, but let me get going here and swing at them. Hey, Mr. Austin, you ain't got to call me Mr. Austin. You can just call me Steve. Thank you for opening up a can of audio whoop-ass for the working man around the world. Now, I'm a mailman, and sometimes the elements outside, loose dogs run around chasing me, and customers yelling at me because their check hasn't arrived yet, can make you go crazy. Now, I can't really give my customers the double middle finger when I get annoyed because their mailbox is being blocked, but I don't have to. That's because I walk around listening to your podcast on my route, and it makes my day go by so much easier and gets me in a better mood. My question to you, sir, as I deliver these gimmicks called bills to my customers, is what is your take on current WWE superstar Antonio Cesaro? Now, I hear he is dropping the name Antonio and is just going to be called Cesaro. I myself find the man a great talent and could see him doing great babyface business here in the near future. Do you think it's too soon for him to break up the Real Americans with Jack Swagger and Zep Coulter, or do you think it's his time to go back into singles? I see Cesaro as a future world champ and think the guy can get over just like he did for the Los Angeles crowd on February 10th edition of Raw. Mic skills are my only question, but I'd like to see Cesaro get a bigger push here in 2014. Even though I'm a mailman, I still love dogs, so please tell Hershey Brio and Shona I said hi. And that's from old Jimmy over there in Washington. Well, let's address the first part of that question. What do I think about Antonio Cesaro? Man, I think the guy's a hell of a talent. He's a hell of a gifted athlete. He's got a good look. I take the sweatbands off the legs. I don't like those. Go to traditional knee pads to protect your knees. The gimmick needs tweaking, obviously, but this guy is a talent. They need to put some more thought in to what they do with this guy. I know they've kind of brought him in with some lackluster ideas to begin with, but just let him maintain what he's doing right now with Jack Swagger and Zeb, but then it'll be time to split him out of that because bigger and better things are down the road for this young cat. That's what I think anyway. And I'm already thinking some ideas for this kid myself, but I think he's a true talent. He's a good-looking cat. Speaks about 5, 6, 7 languages. That's always the bonus. The kid's got potential. All right, here we go. This comes from a cat over in Ireland. All right, hey, Steve, I'm getting married in December, and I'm scared shitless. We have been dating for 10 years, and I love this girl, and I never cheated on her before, but the idea of marrying her scares me. Well, why the fuck does it scare you? You've been dating her ass for 10 years. Are you going to break up with her? Is marriage the bottom line? Is she bugging you about getting married? What's the story here? If you're in a committed relationship right now, you got to understand. See, that's the way chicks are. Chicks want to get married. Women want to get married. Say that with all due respect. 1 out of 2, every marriage fails. So you got that going against you. But, hey, man, if you love this woman and she's your soulmate and you've been dating for 10 years, it's time to shit or get off the pot in her mind. I can see where you're coming from, though. I've been married 4 times. So, you know, if you dig this chick and you will not find a better one, I think you should hang on to her. And maybe that's getting married. So I wish you all the best in the world. And that's about as good as I can tell you, brother. Women are on a time clock. Once they start getting to a certain age, they want to go ahead and tie that knot. And it just bees that way sometimes. Hey, man, this one comes out from a quick question. I currently have a wrist injury, and this has limited my current workout regime. I can still bench, albeit painfully, but my bicep curling and press-ups have taken a hit. Any tips on getting around this, or can you recommend substitute alternative workouts I can do until my injury recovers? That's from old Paul. Hey, man, you know, anytime I get something that starts going south on me, I'll jump on some anti-inflammatories. I like naproxen. Ibuprofen works good. As soon as anything stops hurting on me, I stop taking whatever I'm taking. And sometimes, dude, just lighten up. Lighten up the weight and put in the repetitions. You ain't got to beat yourself up every single time. So if your wrist is bothering you, just use some alternate exercises. Go to push-ups. If it's that bad, I mean, you might need to check the sumbitch out and get it x-rayed or MRI'd. A wrist wrap might also help things. But lighten up your load, switch out to different exercises, or focus on cardio. Where there's a will, there's a way. Sometimes you just got to stop aggravating stuff and let it heal up on itself. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Swig of Red Bull for the working man. Hey, Steve, this isn't a question. It's a straight-up shoot. I went out on the weekend having a couple of dodgy cocktails followed by a good-looking burger that turned out to be food terrorism. The next day, I spent 14 hours within a 2-meter radius of the toilet. No joke. 14-hour drizzling shit's worse than the ringmaster gimmick. The kid was shitting like a crippled goose. Anyway, I wanted to shout out to you that the SAS was a lifesaver as I crapped my brains out, bored out of my mind for 14 straight hours. Keep the audio whoop-ass coming. It's saving lives here in England. Psst. Oh, hell yeah, oh, Scott. Well, see, here's what the young dude did. He went out, got drunk, got him a burger that looked good, and it had a crippled goose factor of about 10.5, went home and shit like a crippled goose. He couldn't get away from his toilet. So the Steve Austin Show gave him something to do when he wasn't shitting in his toilet. So, hey, Scott, glad I could help you. Psh, open up a can of audio whoop-ass there by your toilet. Dig this. Hey, Steve, I was wondering if you believe that in 2014 a wrestling promotion has even a slight chance to overcome WWE and break into the mainstream. Man, that's a very good question. There's not a chance in hell that you're going to overcome WWE. But a show could come at the right place at the right time, done the right way, within the right financial structure and business model, and definitely tap into the mainstream. Never be able to compete with WWE, but some noise could definitely be made, done the right way with the right funding. And no, TNA is not the answer. I don't think that's, and they've been around for several years. More power to them. But I think there's a smarter business model to operate than the way TNA is operating. Hey, Steve, from Steven. Why does Bray Wyatt blow out a gas lantern before the music hits and then carries an LED lantern to the ring and, quote-unquote, blows it out? It's a small thing, but bugs me every time I see it. Well, my friend, that is called show business. Pure and simple. It's show business, brother. That's all. And so Bray Wyatt's doing his thing, blowing out the LED lantern because it looks good on TV. And I ain't been to a road show, but I'm sure he's probably carrying something like that on the road shows as well. Anyway, it makes for a good act. It looks cool, and that's the bottom line, and that's why they do that. And believe it or not, folks, I'm going to wrap it up with this one. And I got so many damn emails about this one. I'm going to give this one to you, too. Hey, Steve, I love the podcast. I love listening to all the wrestlers' lives, the behind-the-curtain stories. I don't know how many times at work I have laughed loudly, and everyone is looking at me. I love all the stories and interviews with everyone. I'm catching up on all the old podcasts. I am sure someone has suggested already, but in case they haven't, you're breathing in the mic. It is very distracting. I just was listening to Kevin Nash and had to listen to it again because I was so focused on your nose whistle. I don't know how the setup is there, but I think it could be a quick fix, something as simple as leaning back until you have the chance to talk or use a headset, maybe moving it away from the mouth and nose. I'm sure your voice will still be picked up. Anyways, that's the only suggestion I have. That won't stop me from listening at all, but you always talk about being the best, and I believe you can be the best at this too, and that's the bottom line from Kurt. Now, Kurt, that Kevin Nash interview was from about 6-7 months ago, so that's an old-ass interview. If you can still hear me breathing while people are talking, send me another email. You got to jump forward and get to the current podcast that I'm running. Every time I'm in the studio, when I'm in Beverly Hills with Stacy, I'll tell Stacy, hey, let me know if I'm breathing too loud because my nose is busted to shit. I got the deviated septums, nose broke so many times I can barely breathe out of it. I can understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to make you feel sorry for me by talking about my deviated septums, my fucked up nose. That's not the point. I hear you. I appreciate the fact that you told me that the breathing was bothering you. I'm doing what I can, but when you lean away from that microphone, when you're trying to have a conversation with someone, you try to get your stuff in there while you're on a telephone call, it's tough. So anyway, I'm working on that. If it still persists, send me another fucking email. We're trying to make this the best goddamn can of audio whoop-ass you can open in the world of podcasting. So anyway, I guess I'm going to take my loud breathing ass and shut the fuck up now. It's time for me to ride off into the sunset. I got to take my fat ass to the gym. I'm still on the goddamn diet, down to about 263. I ain't really lost any weight, but I think my muscle memory is coming back. I think I'm getting a little bit more jacked up than I was, starting to wash a little bit of that beer off my system. Muscles are starting to memorize where they was back in the day. I'm applying the intensity, the consistency, and everything that goes with trying to get my ass in shape. I had a great time going down to Monday Night Raw. I had a great time talking with everybody I saw down there. It was like a big-ass family reunion. I have been gone from the business of pro wrestling for a long time. Now, I know they're doing sports entertainment, but back in the day when I was doing pro wrestling, it's been a while since I've been around. And finally get a chance to meet some of these up-and-coming young superstars. And, you know, I get emails all the time from you people saying, oh, man, it's all the guys, it's the top guys holding them down. It's the Triple H's, it's the John Cena's, it's the Randy Orton's, or it's the Batista's coming back, or The Rock coming back is holding these cats down. Let me tell you something. There ain't nobody holding nobody down in WWE. Now, it's true that the powers that be do not believe in certain people. It is up to the talent to make management believe in them and give them a push. There is a pretty thin roster of talent in that locker room. There's a lot of guys and gals, but when you talk about the cream of the crop, you're talking about the best. Vince McMahon will let anybody be a star that has the potential to be a star. John Cena wants different dance partners. Triple H would love a different dance partner. Randy Orton would love a different dance partner. Daniel Bryan would love a different dance partner. CM Punk, if he comes back, would love a different dance partner. So, hey, man, the doors are wide open there. The ceiling is unlimited. I hear that all the time, man. John Cena is the top dog. He would love for someone to be in contention for that top dog status because he's an alpha male, he's a competitive cat, and he wants to battle it out and fight for his job. All he does is keep going up and down the road, doing his best, giving it his all in the ring, and that's all you can ask from a WWE superstar. All the cats I just mentioned are working their asses off and doing their deal. It's just got to be up to the talent coming up to make some noise, not be afraid to go out on a limb and take a chance. To you cats that listen to my show in the back, do something. Wake somebody up. Grab that fucking business, that company by the throat and say, hey, motherfucker, I want to push. Sky's the limit, cats. Hey, I appreciate you guys hitting the download button. I'd appreciate it more if you hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it if you tell a couple friends about this show if you enjoyed it. It's a little one-on-one here from me to you as you ride down the road, going to work, coming to work, sitting at damn work, working on a computer, doing whatever the fuck you're doing. I do this show for the working man and the working woman. I appreciate all my sponsors who stick on, and I'll do the reads on the damn show. I appreciate you checking out my sponsors and supporting their products. It's all good shit, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't read their shit on my show. I appreciate you guys going to SteveAustinShow.com and clicking on that Amazon button, because when you do, that's the easiest way to support the show. So if you dig what you're hearing, if I can help you out through the day, put a smile on your face, keep you from being bored, even if you got a case of the screaming shits like my young man down there in the UK, it is what it is. And until the next time, I'm Steve Austin. Starting next Tuesday, we're going to have all of the interviews with the WWE superstars that I interviewed just this past Monday in Los Angeles, California. Steve Regal, Zeb, John Cena, and the big show coming at you real soon. Until then, my name is Steve Austin, coming to you from the streets of Los Angeles, California, and I'll catch your ass down the road.
Thank you for joining us for another classic episode of The Steve Austin Show. Please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and tell your friends. For more Steve Austin Show, go to PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.
All this month, stream the funniest films for free on Pluto TV. Watch comedy classics like Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, and Mean Girls. Or drop in for a Tyler Perry marathon with a Medea family funeral and Medea's witness protection. Pluto TV also has hundreds of channels and thousands of movies and TV shows like Get Shorty, Be Cool, Key and Peele, Comedy in Color, and more. And no contracts, no subscriptions, no fees, no joke. So download the Pluto TV app on your favorite streaming device and start laughing today. Pluto TV, drop in, watch free.